What's going on, YouTube? Gamer right here, represent PGA Tour Driven, the movement towards improvement. Today's video, we are over here at Hacienda Country Club in LA. I mean, look at the weather out here. Okay, blue skies, green grass, with my buddy Blair. In today's video, we're gonna do on how to get sponsored, how to become a pro, and I also asked you guys if you had any questions for Blair on Facebook, so we're gonna reel off a little Q&A. Lucky me and Blair playing a little charity event. I mean, this course looks awesome, you guys. I mean, in the rolling hills of LA, Los Angeles, and fairways are tight, greens are rolling good, so I am excited. Let's go. Okay, Blair, let's talk first on how do you become a pro, or anybody. How does one become a professional golfer?
It's pretty easy, actually. So, well, I don't know if it's like official unless you actually win money, but I do understand, like, if you sign up for a tournament and you've been an amateur or whatever, you sign up and they have a little box that says amateur or pro, and you click it, and as a pro or an amateur, then technically you're a pro. But I think you can actually, there's some kind of like gray area where if you don't win money and like actually accept the monetary prize, then you're technically not a professional. So I did that, you know, click the little box, and I played my first pro tournament. I actually won it, so I think from that point on I was officially a pro. So it's pretty easy though.
Really, all you have to do is check a box.
Yeah, check a box and then win some money.
Do you have to have a certain handicap, maybe?
No, you don't. There's a lot of guys, a lot of pros out there who should not be pro, but.
And that's the thing. If you guys look on any professional golf tour, you'll see pros shooting 90s.
Oh yeah.
Every week.
Absolutely. I play with some pro shot. I played with him. He shot like 88.
Yeah.
Actually, we played. You were caddying for me that day. Remember? It was actually Bill Glaston's son at Verona. It was me, and Garrett Sapp, and then that kid who was walking, and he shot like 80 something, and we just beat him by like 20 shots.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, it was
so as you can see, being a pro doesn't really mean much to some regards.
Yeah,
I mean, you can be a pro and shoot 90.
You can be a pro and be a donator, or you can be a pro that wins money, or at least doesn't lose money, you know.
Okay, how many golf companies have you been sponsored by, Blair?
2.
Which companies?
Wilson Staff and Adams.
Okay, and how did you get sponsored by Wilson?
It's a funny story. So our old pro, Paul, which you might have seen in our old videos, he got his Titleist bag stolen from the driving range one day, and Titleist wouldn't give him any more golf clubs or whatnot for whatever reason, and so he ended up calling Wilson Staff. And I was still in high school. I think I was 17 or 18, but I was #1 in San Diego at the time, and the rep from Wilson actually heard of me, and he's like, oh yeah, we'll have him come on out with us, you know, for the fun. So we went out and played Woods Valley, and despite my horrible temper and my bad swing, I shot 29 on the front and ended up shooting 63 that day. I shot 9 under. And you know, and after that, the rep was like, kind of took me over to the side, and he goes, how would you like to play our stuff? We'll take care of you, and if you go to college, through college, and if you turn pro, we'll take care of you. What'd he say? And I said, well, absolutely, because I was playing like mix and match clubs back then. So that's how I got sponsored by Wilson. Then after a couple years of that, and you know, I think I was maybe 21-ish or so, I had a manager at the time, and my manager went to this bar in Encinitas, and just so happened he met Brad. I don't know if I want to say the names. He met the tour rep for Adams Golf, and he was talking me up like a big game. Yeah, I got this guy I'm managing. He's really good or whatever. And Brad's like, oh well, you know, let's maybe I'll go take a look at him or something. And so then one day we went to the driving range, and I was hitting balls, and still no like, oh, I'm gonna give you free stuff right away kind of deal. And I was like, all right, well, that's cool. At least we met him. You know, I got my foot in the door. And then the next week I go out and I shot 61 out at a golf course and broke the course record. And the first thing my manager did was call Brad and say, hey, my guy just shot, you know, 61 course record. And that's like another one of those course records around town or whatnot. And then Brad's like, all right, well, let's go take a look at this guy and let's actually play golf and see how he performs. And we went out and played Rancho Santa Fe Country Club, which is a course similar to this, really tough, tight. And, you know, I think the course record out there is 65 or 64, and Phil Mickelson has it. And I went out and just played flawless. I had no bogeys. I shot 66 and almost tied the course record. I missed a putt in the last hole to tie it. And then Brad's like, well, why don't you play our stuff? What do you say? And from that point on, I said, sure. You know, you just never pass up free stuff like that. And there you go. And that's how I got sponsored by Adams. So it's really about good timing and playing good golf with the right people. Yeah, and performing in tournaments. Obviously, like when I was with Wilson, I was #1 in high school for San Diego, and so he kind of already heard about me before that. So it kind of worked out. And it's about playing well and being really lucky, as in who you meet. Like, I mean, if my old manager never met Brad in a bar, then I never would have met him, and then Brad wouldn't have got me in with Fujikura, and same with TaylorMade and all the other TaylorMade guys too. So
that's the thing. I mean, basically, you either play really good golf in a lot of tournaments, and companies come to you. And quite frankly, if you're asking for sponsorship, you're not good enough to get it.
Yeah, you're not going to get it.
You know, these companies, everyone's a mini tour player, and quite honestly, it's one of my pet peeves to see people like always asking for sponsorship. For example, there's this company called Dial D Clothing on Instagram I've been following. They're a new clothing line, and you see kids like, oh, send me your stuff and I'll rep it down here in San Diego or Florida.
Yeah,
and
they don't care about that.
And they play like on little like web.com qualifiers and mini tour stuff. I'm like, dude, no one's gonna see their clothes on there.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be beneficial to them.
And especially if they're not winning. I mean, you gotta win.
Wow.
If you're winning mini tour events at least a consistent rate, or some, you know, performing, getting top 3s, top 5s, that means there's people who know about you and people who see the stuff that you're wearing, see the clubs you're playing, and a lot of companies want to be a part of that because they think you have potential. And so if they don't think you have potential and you're asking, and they're like, they might look into you and be like, oh, his best score is 74. I mean, you're not gonna get any money in that guy, you know. So it's just you know, you have to get lucky. You can't be asking for it. You just have to meet the right guy, and you have to be playing well at the same time. You know, just take advantage of your opportunities when you do get them. It's crucial.
The big picture here is let your game do the talking, and the companies will come. You worry about golf getting better and playing really good, and getting sponsored will be easy.
But honestly, you know, getting sponsored by the companies is a lot easier than getting actually a dude to sponsor you and give you cash. That's a complete different animal right there.
So you're saying, like, what do you mean, like just club sponsorship?
Club sponsorship's not much, because for clubs, for golf clubs or whatnot, there's no skin off of their back to give you clubs. I mean, they're not going to give it to you just because, but you know, what Adams or TaylorMade or anybody gives me or whatnot, it's nothing that they're not losing money out of this. What a sponsor guy gives you, he's losing money if you don't get anything, if you don't return it. So
and so that's what Blair's talking about. Blair's actually talking about his sponsorships were like clubs, clothing, balls, and gloves, where they're not actually giving him 5, 10, 20 grand.
Yeah, they're just giving me stuff.
Our buddy Tyler Worski from Carlsbad, I believe he got 30 G's. He got 44th in Q School, and I think my buddy Chun, who was playing on Japan Tour, got, I don't know, 25. I think if you get the web, you get, you know, if you're really good at web, maybe 50. Then PG Tour maybe could be anywhere between 75 to 150.
Yeah.
But I mean,
really good, then, you know.
Even if web.com, getting 30 grand on web.com is not good, especially when you're flying to Colombia back and forth.
You better be making money, man.
Paying for hotels and caddies. So, well, thanks for sharing some insight, Blair.
No problem.
Okay, Blair, we're gonna do a little Q&A from Facebook. So, first question is, what's the average score at the tournaments he plays in, and what age group does he play in, if any?
Like from back in the day or right now?
Probably right now.
I mean, we play against everybody from 50-year-olds to teenagers, I guess. But I think right now on the Golden State Tour, you know, I've only played in 9 tournament rounds this year, so probably like 7 or 8 tournaments, and I've got like 5 or 6 of them, all my rounds in the 60s, but I also have a couple high ones. I got to get rid of my inconsistency. So I think right now I'm averaging like 70.8 or like, you know, like 2 under or something like that, 1.5, 2 under.
How many days a week and hours do you practice?
I wish I could do a lot more, but I do work, and so I'd say I do play more often than I practice, I think. So
how many times a week do you play?
Oh, like 5
times?
4 or 5 times, yeah.
Okay.
I try to take 1 day off every week.
What are your future goals? What level do you think you can get to, and how are you going to achieve that?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question right there, man.
Yeah. We talking about what we're talking about on the car.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
You think you could get to?
Personally, I mean, you want to obviously think that you can be the best ever. I mean, you want, like Patrick Reed, I want to be top 5. I won't say that to nobody, but do I think I can? Yeah, I think I can be on the PGA Tour. I think I can win tournaments, and you know, I think I can win majors. But that's my driving goal. Obviously, whether I get there or not is a whole different story. But I think I have the talent, and you know, just the kind of the work ethic. If I have the opportunity to have the work ethic and to make my talent grow.
So, like he says, how would you do that? What would you need, or what you don't have, in order to give yourself that opportunity?
Well, right now I just need resources. I don't got resources, and you know, and it gets frustrating big time a lot, because you know you're working so hard and you're not getting anything out of the game, because the game's not giving anything back to you. And you just got to be patient and just optimistic. I mean, and you got to realize that, you know, you might not make it. I mean, I know for sure that I think about it all the time, like, well, I might not make it, but I won't let it not happen because of my work ethic or my drive. It'll happen from outside influences I have no control over. So I only have control over my swing, my golf game, and my mental attitude and overall perception on everything. So
what you have to understand, Hit One First Blair, is that the opportunity to get on the PGA Tour has nothing to do with talent or potential or work ethic. Blair could have a lot more talent and potential to be better than a lot of the pros out there that are playing, that just have a lot more money to consistently play in tournaments. So it has nothing to do with talent. It has to do with resources mainly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have the talent to be on the PGA Tour, and I think I have the talent to be one of the better players out there, but
I mean, there's pros that shoot 90 in every week, but they actually have the money to play in the tournament.
I mean, yeah.
And Blair's out there actually posting some pretty good scores,
Yeah.
and can't afford it because he's got to pay, you know, car and rent and phone and whatever.
Yeah.
How many days a week do you work, Blair?
4.
4.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to get some morning shifts so I can play in the afternoon. So like half those are in the morning, and then 2 of those I close. But I'll either play in the morning, work and putting in the morning before work, or short game, you know, stuff like that.
How many times can you take the PAT test? If you don't pass the first time, how much does the PAT test cost? Let's just talk about
Gosh, I have no clue.
Let's just talk about how pathetic the PAT is.
It's pretty pathetic. So they play at probably the easiest course in San Diego, and they have to shoot. I think they play 2 rounds, and I think they have to shoot 77 or 78 to get through.
And they play like from the whites.
Yeah.
And they put the pin in the middle
of
of
every green
on the easiest course.
Yeah. So. And it's really not that expensive. I think it's only like $500. But you know, to do actually all the classes and, you know, get your Class A, I think it takes 3 years, and it costs maybe $4,000, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, me and Blair actually don't know too much about that.
I don't. We never had any desire.
Other than we do know, for guys like Blair who shoots under par consistently, and somebody like me who's striving to do that, the ability in the PAT test is pretty below standard almost.
Yeah, it's not too difficult.
All right, Blair, how do you take range work on the course?
I try to get as big of a feel as I can, especially before rounds. Like, I find it really difficult to go and play a golf course or just play a tournament or anything without a proper warm-up session, because if you can't get a good feel and something to commit to the whole entire course around, I just don't think you can really play, at least for me. So the way I do it, you know, I try to get a feel to develop on the range that, you know, I'm hitting it well or whatnot, or just something to make it so I just hit a little bit better, and then take that out on the course and just kind of just mainly focus on that. Try to narrow your focus on your golf swing, and you want more focus on your target than your golf swing. So
how long did it take you to become a scratch handicap?
You know, it's kind of a weird jump that I had when I was younger. Like, I mean, I know when I started like at 10. I know when I was 11, I shot my first round in the 70s, shot 75, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever. And then, you know, I'd just shoot in the low 80s from that point on, and then I'd start shooting the 70s probably right when I turned 12, and then just out of nowhere I shot like a 65 or something crazy, like a Eagle Crest. Like, I birdied,
a hard course, actually.
Yeah, I birdied like 5 or 6 of my last holes in a row or something, and I was like in the rain, and I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I just did that, you know. And then from that point on, like, I'd still shoot mid 70s, and then once I got to about 13, I started consistently shooting around even. And then right when I got to 15 is when I really started just shooting under par a lot, and then, you know, you just keep growing and you get lower and lower. Like, from the time I was about 16 to literally just about last year, I mean, I'd shoot mid 60s all the time, and I'd pepper in some really low ones like a 61, 62, or 60.
See,
60 was really good.
People don't really understand is, like, if you're a really good junior golfer like Blair was, you're shooting the same scores for like 6 or 7 years, and you have a lot more room for like going backwards than forward.
Oh yeah.
If you're shooting 67, 66s when you're 16, 17.
Completely forgot what it's like to shoot 12 under on a round of golf. I mean now after the swing change or whatnot, I did it differently back then though. I had an ego-oriented mindset, and where it was the best or nothing, and I get mad if I shot 69, I'd be like, oh, you should have shot 65, and, you know, toss clubs, just be bitter, and but it was the right kind of mindset to want you to keep birding and keep birding, and now I'm not into that as much. You know, I'm more into like how I commit to every shot and how I feel confident or you know, over every shot. Whereas back then, all I want to do was birdie and birdie and birdie and birdie. And I would shoot low. I would shoot 9, 10 under par rounds, but I think I went about it the wrong way, and now I'm trying to get even back to that point. I think my game, I'm a better player than I ever was, but I'm not shooting the scores that I was last year, so it's kind of crazy how that works.
Let's see another one.
Yeah. Put this glove back on. I'm about to kill this bee right here.
I'm about to kill this bee. I'm about to hit it with a T. Call me Hook, call me Smee. Oh my gosh, I gotta go to the bathroom and take a pee. Call me Cheech, call me Chong. Hit the beer, hit the bong. Look at my wiener, it's a huge ass dog.
Welcome Kanye. How am I supposed to hit after that?
That's pure.
Yeah, it was.
As you can see, me and Blair got here. We left. What time did we leave Escondido, Blair?
Oh, I picked up at 5:30.
We got up here like 7:30.
Yeah.
Took a little stop. But as you can see, me and Blair are the only ones out here.
It's pretty sweet, man.
I mean, me and Blair love this. We could be out here all day. We were just on the putting green by ourselves, on the range.
so
I mean, we could stay out here all day.
I'd love that.
Course looks great. I mean, we're on cloud 9 right now. All right. Well, if we're gonna ask you what your lowest tournament score is, we're gonna ask you what your highest is. One. Too.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your lowest tournament score? What's your highest tournament score?
11 under 61 is my lowest tournament score. It was last year at the Farmers Insurance Open pre-qual. Wish I did it on the Monday, but did it on the pre-qual. And then my highest tournament score is actually, I just shot it actually a month ago. I shot 79. And before that it was 76. So 79 was no fun. But I came back. I shot in the 60s the next day. Like, it was just kind of one of those weird rounds where I hit like 3 balls OB and I was a wrap on that.
And quite honestly, if I look at a player, I mean, it's a lot harder to shoot 61 than 79, obviously. But I mean, I see a lot more potential in someone who actually has the ability to go really low like that.
Yeah, that's kind of crucial. I mean, I didn't have that ability to do it in tournaments for my whole life. I think my lowest tournament round before that was like 65, and then I was playing really good going into that tournament. Like, I was really confident. I almost shot 59 out at Stone Ridge. I lipped down the last hole for 59. I still have nightmares about that. But that was a week before the 61. Like, I had this crazy stretch where I was just shooting low every time. Like, I went like 63, 63, 64, and then 60, and then I went to the tournament, like going in with those scores. And so I just kind of felt like I could do it, but it's harder to translate when you're playing with your buddies and shooting 9, 10 under a par to going out to a tournament and shooting that score. It was crazy how it happened. Like, it was the same kind of mindset where all I thought about was birdie. There was no negative thoughts. It was just go, 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 go. And when you got to a certain point, it's really easy when you get to like 8 to be like, okay, I'm good where I'm at. Let's kind of like get complacent, and then you either lose a stroke, then you blow up, or you just kind of par out and you don't ever go lower. Like, I was on the last hole and I was 10 under par, and I was like 240 into this par 5, and I was with my caddy, and you know, I knew I was obviously going to get through to the Monday qualifier, and my caddy's like, I think you should lay up, and I kind of like looked at him. I was like, no, because in a normal round I wouldn't lay up. So I hit a 3-wood, and it was like an uphill shot, and it hit a little cut in there at about 20 feet or so, 2-putted for my 61 course record. And you know, you have to have that kind of mindset where once you can't get complacent, you want to just always keep birding. And it's a lot of fun when you do it too. It's really fun.
What's the best course you've played?
Ooh, it's a course called Old Kinderhook in Missouri. It's at Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, and it was just all zoysia grass, and the greens were bent, and it was just so pure. And that's the best course I ever played.
I don't know. Can you get driving here?
I don't know, but I'm going to.
Okay. Oh, that's so butters.
That's right where I wanted to go.
Yeah. You can dream for a better ball flight. Good swing, Gabers.